A passenger just landed a hijacked 747 over the Pacific Ocean. That's not even the crazy part. When she said her name on the radio, F-22s went silent. Air Force stopped talking. CIA started panicking. She wasn't supposed to be in the cockpit. Just a translator, until she wasn't. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. First thing about Ava, you'd walk right past her at the airport and never look twice. She's 34, jeans from Target, blazer from J. Crew's clearance rack, hair in a messy bun, canvas tote bag with a faded NPR logo. Inside, a paperback, a granola bar, and an encrypted tablet that cost more than her car. If you saw her boarding this flight at 5:30 a.m., you'd think, low-level government employee, forgot her coffee, regretting waking up at 3 a.m. You'd be completely wrong. Ava Nguyen is a CIA linguistic analyst. Has been for 3 years. Her specialty, Vietnamese, Korean, and Mandarin. She decodes encrypted messages, finds threats hiding in language. She's scary good at it. Her cover story, contract interpreter for State Department diplomatic missions. Boring, forgettable, perfect. Her parents think she translates for diplomats. Her friends think she travels too much. The guy she's been seeing for 4 months thinks she's mysterious in a hot way. She'll never tell any of them the truth. But here's the thing. Nobody knows. Not her CIA handler. Not the 7 people at Langley who have security clearance high enough to know she exists. Not her parents. Not her friends. Not David Ava Nguyen is a pilot. Not like she took a discovery flight once and thought it was cool. Not like she has a poster of an airplane in her bedroom. I mean a real, licensed, certified pilot. Private pilot license. 600 hours logged. Can fly a Cessna 172 like she was born in the cockpit. And today, on this boring diplomatic charter flight from D.C. to Seoul, that secret is about to save 89 lives and blow up her entire career. Ava's dad, Colonel Nguyen Than, flew A-37 Dragonflies for South Vietnam. April 30th, 1975. Saigon fell. He escaped on a helicopter, left everything behind. His flight suit, his medals, his entire identity as a pilot. Made it to America, factory jobs, raised a family, built a life, but never flew again. Until Ava turned 13. He took her to a tiny airport in Virginia, rented a Cessna 172, taught her to fly. They were up at 3,500 feet when he let go of the controls. Ava, he said in Vietnamese, put your hands on the yoke. Ba? I don't know how. Do it. She panicked. Right rudder, little bit. There, she corrected. When Saigon fell, I had no control. I was helpless. Up here, you're never helpless. You have control. You make decisions. You live or die by your choices. I want you to know that feeling. Ava was 13. She didn't fully understand, but she would. 6 years later, they went back every weekend after that. Ava learned to fly. First solo at 16. Her dad watched from the ground with tears in his eyes. Private pilot license at 19. By college graduation, 600 hours logged. She kept flying through Georgetown. Linguistics degree. Every weekend at the airport. When the CIA recruited her senior year, she never told them she could fly. Why would she? They hired her for languages. Flying was hers. Her and her dad's. The one thing that wasn't about work. She liked it that way. Until today. The flight is boring as hell. Charter 747. Not a commercial airline. Government contract. Diplomatic mission to Seoul. Some conference about trade or North Korea, or something Ava doesn't care about because it's not her job to care. Her job is much simpler and much more secret. She's supposed to identify a North Korean defector. According to intelligence, there's someone on this flight who claims to have information about Kim Jong-un's inner circle. Could be real, could be a plant, could be complete bullshit. Ava's job is to figure out which. She's been reading files for 3 weeks. Photos of possible suspects, voice recordings, Behavioral profiles. She's supposed to identify him during the flight. Get close if possible, assess credibility. Report back when they land in Seoul. It's delicate work, undercover work, the kind of thing she's been training for. So far, absolutely nothing. She's been on this flight for 2 hours and 20 minutes. She's in seat 14A, business class, pretending to work on translation documents while secretly monitoring intercepted North Korean communications on her encrypted tablet. Around her, the plane is quiet. Most people are sleeping. It's a red eye. Left Dulles at 5:30 a.m. East Coast time, which means everyone's exhausted. There are 91 people on board total. Hang, 2 pilots. Hang, 6 flight attendants. Hang, 83 passengers. Mix of State Department staffers, a couple congresspeople, some defense contractors, academic types. Ava has profiled every single one. Nobody stands out. Nobody's acting suspicious. The suspected defector, if he even exists, is doing a perfect job of blending in. Ava is so bored she wants to scream. She's thinking about David, her sort of boyfriend, whether she should end it before it gets serious, before she has to start lying even more. He texted her this morning before she left. Safe flight. Miss you already. She texted back a heart emoji and felt guilty about it. She's thinking about her dad. He's 68 now. Doesn't fly anymore. Says his reflexes aren't what they used to be. Just sits in his garage, looking at old photos of Saigon, listening to Vietnamese radio. Sometimes she catches him staring at the sky, with this look on his face, like he's seeing something she can't. She's thinking about the in-flight meal. They served it an hour ago. Chicken or pasta. She got the chicken. It was dry. Regrets. She's thinking about how she has 14 more hours of this flight and might die of boredom. And then she hears something. Something that makes every hair on her arm stand up. Something that changes everything. Ava has hyperacusis. Hypersensitive hearing. She picks up sounds most people filter out. Usually it's a pain. Can't sleep with noise. Movie theaters are torture. But right now, it saves 89 lives. While everyone else is sleeping or watching movies, Ava hears the pilots talking through the cockpit door. 2 male voices, speaking Vietnamese. At first, she doesn't process it, just background noise. Part of the soundscape she's constantly filtering. But then her brain catches up. Wait, Vietnamese. The pilots are speaking Vietnamese. That's weird. Really weird. Because Ava has the flight manifest memorized. She memorizes everything. It's what she does. The pilots listed are Captain Michael Torres, 52, American from Houston, Texas, 15,000 flight hours, clean record. Ang First Officer Sarah Chen, 38, American, from San Francisco, California, 8,000 flight hours. Also clean. Neither of them should be speaking Vietnamese. Ava leans forward in her seat, pretending to adjust her seatbelt, angling her head toward the cockpit. Listening. Voice 1, speaking Vietnamese with a northern accent. How much longer until phase 2? Voice 2, southern accent. Calmer. 3 minutes. The oxygen system is configured. Once we activate it, we have approximately 4 minutes before we lose consciousness. Ava's heart skips. Voice 1. And the autopilot? Bye. Voice 2. Already programmed. The aircraft will maintain current heading and altitude until fuel exhaustion. Estimated impact in the Pacific Ocean, approximately 900 miles from any recovery assets. Water depth at that location is over 15,000 feet. Voice 1. No possibility of survivors? Voice 2. None. No emergency beacons will transmit from that depth. No bodies will be recovered. It will appear to be a catastrophic mechanical failure, possibly electrical fire. The investigation will take years. Voice 1. And we're certain the contamination won't affect the cabin. Voice 2. The cockpit oxygen system is isolated. Cabin will remain normal. Passengers won't know anything is wrong until impact. They'll die instantly. Voice 1. Good. Allah Akbar. Voice 2. Allah Akbar. Ava's entire world stops. She sits frozen in her seat, her tablet forgotten in her lap. her mind racing to process what she just heard. This is a hijacking. The pilots aren't pilots. They're suicide attackers. They've replaced the real crew somehow. Stolen uniforms, false IDs. However they did it, they're in the cockpit. And they've sabotaged the oxygen system. In 3 minutes, no, probably 2 minutes now, they're going to activate it. Some kind of contamination. Carbon monoxide maybe, or nitrogen. Something that will make them lose consciousness. And then this aircraft, the 747 with 89 people on board, is going to fly on autopilot until it runs out of fuel and crashes into the Pacific Ocean. No survivors, no rescue, no investigation that will ever find the truth. Ava's hands are shaking. She looks around the cabin. Everyone's asleep, or reading, or watching movies. Nobody knows. Nobody has any idea that in less than 2 minutes they're all going to die. She has to make a choice, right now. Ava's mind is racing through scenarios. Option 1. Alert the flight attendants. She could press the call button. Tell them there are hijackers in the cockpit. They'd follow protocol. Call the pilots. Get confused when the pilots say everything's fine. Maybe contact air traffic control. Maybe try to break into the cockpit. How long would that take? 5 minutes? 10? Too long. The hijackers will be unconscious in 2 minutes. And even if the flight attendants believe her, even if they act immediately, by the time they breach the cockpit, the hijackers are gone, and nobody can fly the plane. Option 2. Alert her CIA handler. She has a secure communication device. She could send an emergency message. Langley would scramble a response. Maybe. But what response? She's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from land. There's no rescue coming, no tactical team that can fast rope onto a moving aircraft. By the time anyone does anything, the plane is in the water. Option 3. Do nothing. Just sit here. Let it happen. Die with everyone else. She'd never have to explain why she blew her cover. Never have to face the consequences. Never have to write a report. This option is looking better than it should. Option 4. The absolutely insane option. Break into the cockpit herself. Right now. Incapacitate the hijackers before they lose consciousness. Take control of the aircraft and fly it. Fly a Boeing 747-400, which she's never even sat in the cockpit of, which weighs 400 tons, which has systems she doesn't understand, which requires a type rating she doesn't have. Fly it with her 600 hours in Cessna 172s, single-engine trainers that weigh 2,000 pounds and have 6 instruments. This is insane. This is impossible. This is suicide. But it's the only option where people might live. Ava looks at her watch. She's been sitting here processing for maybe 30 seconds, which means she has maybe 90 seconds before the hijackers activate the oxygen contamination. 90 seconds to decide. She thinks about her dad. That day when she was 13, his words, "You live or die by your choices." She chooses to live. Stands up. Ava is moving before she fully realizes she's made the decision. She leaves her tablet on her seat, leaves her bag, just walks forward toward the front of the aircraft. Her heart is pounding so hard she can feel it in her throat. Her hands are sweating. Her legs feel like rubber. She passes sleeping passengers. A congressman with his mouth open, snoring. A State Department staffer watching a movie with headphones. A defense contractor working on a laptop. None of them know. None of them have any idea. The senior flight attendant, her name tag says Karen, late 50s, tired eyes, probably been doing this job for 30 years, is in the galley preparing coffee. She sees Ava approaching. "Ma'am, can I help you with something?" Ava's mouth is dry. She swallows, tries to keep her voice steady. "I need you to open the cockpit door." Karen blinks. "I'm sorry, what?" "The cockpit door. I need you to open it. Right now." "Ma'am, I can't do that. Passengers aren't allowed. There are hijackers in the cockpit." Ava's voice is quiet but urgent. "They're speaking Vietnamese. I speak Vietnamese. I heard them. They've sabotaged the oxygen system. In less than 90 seconds, they're going to lose consciousness, and this plane is going to crash." Karen stares at her like she's crazy. Which, fair, this sounds crazy. Ma'am, I think maybe you should sit down. If you're feeling anxious, I'm CIA. Ava pulls out her credentials. Real ones. The ones she's never supposed to show anyone. Linguistic analyst. My cover is contract interpreter. But I'm agency. And I'm telling you right now, there are hijackers in that cockpit, and we have maybe 60 seconds. Karen looks at the credentials, looks at Ava's face, looks at the credentials again. How do you know? I have hypersensitive hearing. I heard them through the door. They were speaking Vietnamese. The manifest says the pilots are American. They're not. They're suicide attackers. They're going to contaminate their oxygen supply, lose consciousness, and let this plane fly until it crashes. We have seconds. Karen is processing. Ava can see it on her face, trying to decide if this is real or if she's dealing with a crazy passenger. Even if that's true, I don't have authority to. Yes, you do. Post 9/11 regulations. Flight crew has authority to breach the cockpit in case of suspected hijacking. You can override the lock. But if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, I'll be arrested when we land, and you can say I threatened you. But if I'm right, and you do nothing, 89 people die. Including you, including me. So make a fucking choice. Ava never swears. The profanity shocks both of them. Karen looks at her. Really looks. Sees something in Ava's eyes. Maybe terror. Maybe certainty. Maybe both. Okay, she says. But if this is bullshit, I'm testifying against you. Fair. Karen punches in the emergency override code on the keypad next to the cockpit door. There's a beep. A click. The door unlocks. Ava takes a breath. Opens the door. Steps into the cockpit. The cockpit is smaller than she expected. 2 seats. Captain on the left, first officer on right. Instrument panels everywhere. Overhead panels. Center console windows showing dark sky and stars. 2 men in pilot uniforms. Both Asian. Mid-30s. Neither of them looks like the photos she saw of Captain Torres or First Officer Chen. Hijackers. They turn when Ava enters. Surprised. They weren't expecting this. Guy 1, the one in the captain's seat, reaches for something. A weapon, maybe. Or the oxygen system controls. Ava doesn't wait to find out. She kicks him, hard, right in the knee. She's never kicked anyone before, not in training, not ever. But she played soccer in high school and her body remembers how to put force behind it. Guy 1 screams, goes down. His knee buckles. Guy 2, first officer's seat, lunges at her. He's bigger than her, stronger. This is going to hurt. Ava grabs the fire extinguisher mounted on the wall. It's heavy, regulation weight. She swings it like a bat. It connects with his face. There's a horrible crunching sound. He drops. Both hijackers on the floor. Conscious but incapacitated. Guy 1 is clutching his knee. Guy 2's nose is definitely broken. Blood everywhere. Ava is shaking. Her hands, her legs, her entire body. She's never been in a fight before. Never hurt anyone. She wants to throw up. But she doesn't have time. Karen appears in the doorway with zip ties. Air Marshal training, she explains quickly. Took the course 15 years ago. Never thought I'd use it. Together, they secure both hijackers. Hands behind their backs. Tight. They're not going anywhere. Check their pockets. Ava says. Weapons? Detonators. Anything. They find Dad, 2 cell phones. Dad, 2 fake pilot licenses. Dad, a handwritten note in Arabic. Ava can't read Arabic, but she knows what it probably says. No weapons. They weren't planning to survive this. Ava turns to the cockpit instrument panel, finds the oxygen system controls. There. A valve that's been turned to a position it shouldn't be in. A tank that's connected that shouldn't be connected. She switches it back, disconnects the wrong tank, connects the emergency oxygen supply. Crisis 1 solved. Nobody's getting poisoned, but Crisis 2 is just beginning. Because while she was fighting hijackers and fixing oxygen systems, she didn't notice one crucial thing. The autopilot has disengaged. The aircraft is flying manually, and nobody's at the controls. The 747 starts to bank. Not dramatically. Just a gentle roll to the left, but it's accelerating. Shit! Ava lunges for the captain's seat, slides into it, grabs the yoke. It's huge compared to a Cessna's, heavier, and it's pulling hard to the left. She pulls right. The aircraft responds sluggishly. Too heavy, too much momentum. She's overcorrecting. Now they're banking right. Too far. Level the wings, she mutters to herself. Come on, Ava. Basic flying. Level the goddamn wings. She fights the yoke. Left. No. Too much. Right. Gentle. There. Wings level. She's sweating. Her heart is pounding. Her hands are shaking so badly she can barely hold the yoke. And she's just now realizing what she's looking at. This cockpit makes a Cessna look like a toy. The Cessna 172 she learned on has PIAN-1 attitude indicator, TR-1 airspeed indicator, TR-1 heading indicator, TR-1 tachometer, maybe a GPS if it's a newer model. Basic, simple, 6-pack of instruments. This 747 cockpit has Hang Primary Flight Display, PFD, with more information than she can process, Sing Navigation Display, ND, showing a map she doesn't understand, Sing Engine Indication and Crew Alerting System, ECAS with about 50 different readings, Sing Autopilot Control Panel with switches she's afraid, to touch ANG Flight Management Computer, FMC, with a keyboard and screen showing data on throttle quadrant with 4 throttle levers instead of 1, hung overhead panel, with literally hundreds of switches buttons, and circuit breakers, 9, tap 3 different radios, TCASS, traffic collision avoidance, down, about 1,000 other things she doesn't recognize. This isn't a Cessna. This is a flying supercomputer that weighs 400 tons and costs $400 million. And she has 600 hours in single-engine trainers. Karen is standing in the doorway, staring. Can you fly this? I have no fucking idea, Ava says honestly. She looks at the instruments, trying to find something familiar. There. Altitude, 37,000 feet. Airspeed, 290 knots. She thinks that's normal? Maybe. She has no idea what cruise speed is for a 747. Heading 265 degrees west, over the Pacific. Fuel? The gauge shows thousands of pounds. She doesn't know if that's good or bad. The autopilot controls are right in front of her. Big panel, buttons that say things like VNAV and LNAV and APP and ALT hold. She has no idea what any of those mean. She needs help. She needs help right now. She picks up the radio headset, puts it on, takes a breath, and makes the call that's going to expose her, end her career, and save 89 lives. Ava's hands are shaking as she keys the mic. This is... I don't know the call sign. I don't know the aircraft registration. This is a charter flight. Boeing 747. We left Washington Dulles this morning heading to Seoul. We have an emergency. Her voice is shaking. Not that calm professional pilot voice you hear on ATC recordings. Scared human voice. Static. Then a male voice, professional. Aircraft calling, this is Oakland Center. Say your call sign and position. Oakland Center. She's so far out they're still with a U.S. Air Traffic Control Center. That's good maybe? I don't know the call sign. I don't know the position. I'm not the pilot. The pilots were hijackers. I incapacitated them. I'm a passenger. I'm flying the plane now. And I have no idea what I'm doing. Long silence. She can almost hear the controller trying to process what she just said. Aircraft, please confirm you are a passenger operating the aircraft. Yes. Confirmed. My name is Ava Nguyen. I'm a pilot, but I've only flown small planes. Single engine. Cessna 172S. I have a private pilot license. 600 hours. This is a Boeing 747. I've never flown anything like this. I need help. Please. More silence. Probably the controller is talking to a supervisor. Maybe calling the FBI. Maybe calling everyone. Ava Nguyen, the controller says, voice very careful, very calm. This is Oakland Center. My name is Dave. I'm going to help you. First, What is your current position and altitude? I don't know how to read the navigation. I'm at 37,000 feet altitude. Airspeed is 290 knots, heading 265 degrees. Should show latitude and longitude. Ava scans the panel. There, the navigation display. Coordinates in the corner. 32 degrees north, 178 degrees west. She hears typing on the other end. Copy that. You're mid-Pacific, approximately 800 miles east of Midway Island. Fuel status? Ava looks at the fuel gauges. There are 4 of them, one for each engine. It says 105,000 pounds remaining. That's good. That's about 6 hours of fuel. Plenty to work with. Ava, I need you to tell me, is the autopilot engaged? I don't know. It was. But then the plane started turning, and I grabbed the controls. I think I disconnected it. Can you see a panel that says AP? Yes. Is there a light on that says Command or FD or anything? Ava looks. No lights. No lights. Good. So autopilot is disengaged. You're flying manually. How does the aircraft feel? Heavy. Really heavy. The yoke is hard to move. That's normal. 747 is a big aircraft. You're doing great. Now, I need you to do something for me. I need you to re-engage the autopilot. Can you do that? How? See a button that says Command. Should be on the autopilot panel. Ava finds it. Big button. Says CMD. Found it. Press it. She presses it. A light comes on. The yoke suddenly goes slack in her hands. The aircraft steadies. Autopilot engaged. Oh, thank God, Ava breathes. Good. Autopilot is engaged. Aircraft is stable. You can let go of the controls. You're safe. For now. Ava lets go. Her hands are cramping. She's been gripping the yoke so hard her fingers are white. Okay, Dave the controller says. We're scrambling assets to assist. Military escort should be on station in approximately 15 minutes. Until then, I need you to not touch anything. Leave autopilot engaged. Leave everything where it is. Can you do that? Yes. Good. Ava, you're doing amazing. Just breathe. We're going to get you through this. Ava nods even though he can't see her. Realizes she's crying. Karen hands her a bottle of water. Ava takes it. Drinks. Her throat is so dry. Oakland Center. This is Ava. What happens next? Next, we get you on the ground safely. We're coordinating with Air Force and Navy assets. Closest suitable airport is Honolulu. We're going to vector you there and talk you through landing. I've never landed a 747. I know, but we have pilots here who have. And we're going to talk you through every single step. You can do this. Ava wants to believe him, but she's looking at this cockpit full of instruments she doesn't understand, thinking about landing a 40-ton aircraft, and wondering if she's going to get everyone killed, while Ava is sitting in that cockpit trying not to panic. Things are happening she doesn't know about. CIA headquarters, Langley, Virginia. A duty officer is staring at a screen. Signals intelligence just picked up an emergency transmission. Mid-Pacific. Charter flight. Someone claiming to have stopped hijackers. The someone gave their name. Ava Nguyen. The duty officer pulls up a file. Sees Ava's photo. Sees her cover status. Sees that she's supposed to be on a classified mission to identify a North Korean defector. And she just said her real name on an open radio frequency. The duty officer picks up a phone. We have a problem. Pacific Air Forces Command, Hickam AFB, Hawaii. An intelligence officer is running Ava's name through databases. Ava Nguyen, Vietnamese American, 34 years old, CIA linguistic analyst. But that's not all. There's a flag on her file. Recruitment flag. Program classified. For the past 2 years, Air Force intelligence has been trying to recruit Ava Nguyen into a program that doesn't officially exist. They noticed her when she cracked North Korean aviation codes. Did it by accident while analyzing intercepted communications. Figured out they were using a modified Soviet encryption system. Broke it in 3 days. Turned out she understood aviation terminology in 3 languages. could decode tactical communications, could identify aircraft types by engine sound. The Air Force wanted her. They approached her twice. She declined both times, said she wasn't interested in operational work. And now Ava Wen is flying a hijacked 747 over the Pacific. The intelligence officer picks up a phone. "Get me Major Chen." NSA Pacific Intercept Station. Analysts are already recording the radio transmissions. Ava Wen. That name is in their database too. She's the analyst who identified a North Korean submarine commander by his accent, found him hiding in communications traffic, led to a successful intelligence operation. She's good. And now she's in trouble. The station commander makes a call. "Flag this. High priority. Record everything. She's one of ours. F-22 Raptor flight, scrambling from Hickam AFB. 2 F-22s are launching. Call sign, Raptor flight. Lead pilot, Major Lisa Chen. Wingman, Captain Jake Morrison. They've been briefed. Hijacked charter flight. Passenger flying the aircraft. Name, Ava Nien." Major Chen's eyes widen when she hears the name. She knows Ava. Tried to recruit her personally. Twice. First time was 2 years ago at an interagency conference. Approached Ava after a presentation, asked if she'd ever considered combining her language skills with aviation work. Ava said no thanks. Second time was 6 months ago. Made a better pitch. Explained the program, explained what they needed. Ava still said no. Said she was happy analyzing from a desk. Major Chen gave her a business card both times. Said the offer stood. And now Ava Nguyen is flying a 747. "How far out are we?" Major Chen asks. 12 minutes, Morrison replies. "Push it to 10. Ava sits in the captain's seat, staring at instruments she doesn't understand, trying not to think about everything that can go wrong. Karen is still in the cockpit with her. "Should I tell the passengers?" "Yeah," Ava says. "They should know." Her voice goes out to the entire cabin. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Karen, your senior flight attendant. I need to inform you of a situation. The pilots of this aircraft were hijackers. They have been incapacitated and secured. A passenger who is a trained pilot is currently operating the aircraft. We are in contact with air traffic control, and military assets are en route to assist. We will be diverting to Honolulu. Please remain calm and stay in your seats." She hangs up. From the cabin, Ava hears noise, confusion, fear, questions. Then someone starts clapping. Slow clap at first, then another person joins. Then another. Soon the whole cabin is applauding. For her. For Ava Nguyen, the woman who was supposed to stay invisible, who was supposed to blend in, who was never supposed to be noticed. Ava starts crying again. Can't help it. The stress. The fear. The adrenaline. The fact that 89 people are depending on her and she has no idea if she can do this. "Oakland Center, this is Ava," she says into the radio. "How long until the military escort arrives?" "They're F-22s. Best pilots in the world. They're going to take care of you." 8 minutes. Ava looks at the clock. It's been 12 minutes since she broke into the cockpit. Feels like a lifetime. Ava sees them before she hears them. 2 dark shapes against the night sky. Fast, sleek, appearing on either side of the 747 like guardian angels. F-22 Raptors. They position themselves on her wings, close enough that she can see the pilots' helmets. The radio crackles. Female voice, professional but warm. "Ava Nguyen, this is Raptor Lead. We're on station. We've got you. You're doing great." Something about that voice. Familiar. "Raptor Lead. This is Ava. Who am I talking to?" "Air Force. We've met before." Ava's brain takes a second to process. Then she remembers. 2 years ago, interagency conference on linguistic intelligence, a friendly Air Force major approached her after her presentation, bought her coffee, asked interesting questions, then made a pitch. "Ever thought about combining your language skills with flying?" "I'm not a pilot," Ava had said. "But if you were?" Major Chen had smiled like she knew something. Ava had declined. Politely, the major had given her a business card anyway. "If you change your mind." 6 months ago, Major Chen tried again. Better pitch this time. Explained there was a program, classified, combining linguistic intelligence with tactical aviation. They needed people who could do both. Ava still said no. And now here they are. Major Chen, Ava says, you're the recruiter. That's me. This is a really bad time for a pitch. Despite everything, hijackers bleeding on the floor behind her, 89 passengers depending on her aircraft, she can't really fly. Ava hears herself making a joke. Major Chen laughs. Actual laughter. Copy that, Ava. How about we get you on the ground first? Then we can talk about career opportunities. Deal. Good. Now, status report. What's your fuel? Ava checks. 102,000 pounds. Altitude and airspeed. 37,000 feet. 285 knots. Autopilot engaged? Yes. Perfect. You're stable. You're doing everything right. Now here's what's going to happen. We're going to vector you to Honolulu International. It's about 90 miles ahead. I'm going to talk you through every single step of the approach and landing. But first I need to know, what's your flying experience? Private pilot license, 600 hours, all in single-engine Cessnas, mostly Cessna 172. Okay, so you understand basic flight principles. Pitch, power, bank, airspeed. Good. The 747 is just a bigger version of the same thing. More systems, but the fundamentals are identical. Your training will carry you through this. I've never flown on instruments, just visual flight rules. I'm going to be your eyes. You trust me? Ava looks out the window, sees the F-22 flying formation on her wing, sees Major Chen's helmet turn toward her. A wave. Yeah, Ava says. I trust you. Good. Now let's bring this bird home. Major Chen walks her through the instruments. See the primary flight display? That's your attitude indicator, altimeter, airspeed. The airplane symbol in the center, wings level, means straight flight. Altitude, airspeed, vertical speed. The 747 seems complicated, Major Chen says, but you only need 10% of it to fly safely. We're focusing on that 10%. Press the autopilot disconnect. Make a small turn. Feel how it responds. Ava does. The aircraft banks. Sluggish. Heavy. But it responds. Good. Now re-engage autopilot. She does. How did that feel? Heavy. Slow. But not impossible. Exactly. Just like a Cessna. Bigger and slower. You can fly this. Ava, we're about 30 minutes from Honolulu. We need to start descending. You ready? Not even a little bit ready. Yes, Ava lies. Good. First thing, disengage autopilot altitude hold. See the button that says ALT. Ava finds it. A light is on. Press it. She does. The light goes off. Now pull the throttles back. All 4 of them. Gently. About an inch. Ava finds the throttle quadrant. 4 levers. She pulls them back. The engines spool down. The aircraft starts to slow. Good. Now push the nose down. Watch your vertical speed indicator. I want you to aim for 1,500 feet per minute descent. Ava pushes the yoke forward. The nose pitches down, stomach dropping sensation. Too fast. The VSI shows 2,500 feet per minute. Too much, Major Chen says calmly. Pull back. Gently. Ava pulls. Now they're only descending 800 feet per minute. Little more. She adjusts. 1,200. 1,600. She's overshooting, but getting closer. Finally stabilizes at 1,500. Perfect, Major Chen says. You're descending at exactly the right rate. Now hold that. Easier said than done. The aircraft keeps wanting to change. Speeds up. Slows down. Pitches too far. Not enough. Ava is constantly making tiny corrections. It's exhausting. They descend through 35,000 feet, 30,000, 25,000. Ava's hands are cramping. Her back hurts. She's been sitting rigid for 20 minutes. How you doing? Major Chen asks. Tired. I bet. But you're doing great. We're passing through 25,000. You've got this. 20,000 feet. The air is getting thicker. The aircraft is starting to buffet slightly in the turbulence. 15,000. Major Chen's voice. Ava, we need to slow down. Pull throttles back more. We want to be at 250 knots below 10,000 feet. That's regulations. Ava pulls the throttles back. The aircraft slows. 280 knots. 270. 260. 250. 10,000 feet, they're in controlled airspace now. If there was other traffic, this is where it would matter. But Honolulu has cleared the airspace. No other aircraft for 50 miles. Just Ava and the two F-22s. 5,000 feet. Ava, this is Oakland Center. We're handing you off to Honolulu approach. They're going to vector you for landing. You've done amazing so far. Good luck. Thank you, Dave. 4-7 Honolulu approach. We have you 25 miles east. Cleared direct runway 08R. Descend to 3,000 feet. November Charlie 747. The aircraft's call sign. Ava has no idea where that came from, but okay. Cleared direct runway 08R. Descend to 3,000, she repeats. Her dad taught her to always read back clearances. That training kicks in now. 3,000 feet. Ava can see lights ahead. Honolulu, the island, the airport. This is happening. She's actually going to try to land this thing. Ava, we need to configure the aircraft for landing, Major Chen says. You ready? Not really. That's normal. Every pilot feels that way. First thing, slow to 200 knots. Pull throttles back. Ava does. The aircraft slows. Good. Now we're going to extend flaps. See the lever on the center console? Big lever with numbers on it. Ava finds it. Numbers from 1 to 30. Got it. Set flaps 5. Ava moves the lever to 5. The aircraft lurches. The nose pitches up sharply. They start climbing. Push forward, Major Chen says urgently. Don't let it balloon. Ava pushes. Too hard. Now they're descending too fast. Easy, gentle, find the balance. It takes her 30 seconds of overcorrecting before she stabilizes. Level flight at 200 knots with flaps. 5, she's sweating, breathing hard. Sorry, she gasps. Don't apologize. First time I configured a heavy aircraft, I balloons 800 feet. You did better than me. Is that true? Ava doesn't know. But it helps. Okay, flaps 10. Ava moves the lever. This time she anticipates the pitch change. Compensates better. Only balloons, 200 feet. Good. You're learning. Flaps 15. Better. Only 100 feet. Flaps 20. Almost perfect. Flaps 25. She nails it. Level. Beautiful. Last one. Flaps 30. This is landing configuration. Ava sets flaps 30. The aircraft pitches up. She pushes forward. Holds it steady. Perfect. Now landing gear. There's a lever. Looks like a little wheel. Pull it down. Ava finds it. Pulls. Chunk. 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 Massive thumping from below as the landing gear extends. The aircraft shudders. 3 green lights appear on the panel. 3 green, Major Chen asks. 3 green. Good. Gear down and locked. You're configured for landing. Slow to 160 knots. That's your final approach speed. Ava pulls the throttles back. 180 knots. 170. 160. The aircraft feels sluggish now. Heavy. Mushing through the air. Ava, you're doing perfect. Better than some airline pilots I've seen. Now comes the hard part. That wasn't the hard part. That was just setup. Now you have to land it. Runway 08R appears ahead. Long strip of concrete. Lights on both sides. Emergency vehicles lining the taxiways. Fire trucks. Ambulances. Police. Ava's heart is pounding so hard she can hear it. Ava, you're high, Major Chen says. Way too high, you need to descend faster. She pushes the nose down. The runway grows larger, but the descent rate increases too much. 2,000 feet per minute, that's too fast. Throttles back, steeper descent. She tries, but she can't get it right. Either too fast or too shallow. Ava, you're 1,000 feet too high at 3 miles. That's too much. You need to go around. Go around? Abort the landing. Add power. Climb. We'll set up for another try. I can make it. Ava. Major Chen's voice is firm. I need you to trust me. Go around. Now. Ava wants to argue, but Major Chen is right. She knows she's too high. She pushes the throttles forward. All 4 engines roar. The aircraft pitches up. They start climbing. Her first landing attempt failed. She wants to scream. Or cry. Or both. It's okay, Major Chen says gently. Most student pilots don't nail their first approach. Hell, I went around 4 times on my first heavy aircraft landing. We're going to try again. Set up for another approach. This time, Ava starts descending earlier, manages the speed better. But she's fighting the aircraft, overcorrecting. The approach is unstable. You're left of center line, Major Chen says. Correct right. Too much. Now she's right of center line. Back left. Small corrections. She's sweating. Her hands are shaking. This is so much harder than a Cessna. 1,000 feet. Still not stable. Ava, this approach isn't working. Go around again. Damn it. Adds power. Climbs. 2 failed approaches. It's okay, Major Chen says. We have fuel, we have time. Let's talk through what's going wrong. Major Chen's voice is patient. Teaching. Ava, you're fighting the aircraft. You're making big corrections. In a heavy jet, you need to think ahead. Small inputs. Let the aircraft settle before you correct again. Understand? I think so. Also, you're fixating on the runway. Don't stare at it. Scan your instruments. Airspeed, altitude, descent rate. The numbers will tell you what you need to do. Okay, one more thing. In a Cessna, you fly the aircraft all the way to the ground. In a 747, you fly to about 50 feet. Then you flare and let it settle. Don't try to force it down. Let it land itself. Let it land itself. Trust me. Now, you ready to try again? Yeah, this time we're going to nail it. They set up again. This time, Ava does what Major Chen said. Small corrections. Scan instruments. Think ahead. It feels better. Good, Major Chen says. You're on glide slope, on center line. Looking perfect. 2,000 feet above ground. Ava checks her speed. 165 knots. A little fast. She pulls throttles back slightly. 160 knots. Perfect. 1,000 feet. Beautiful, Ava. You're nailing this. 500 feet. She can see the runway clearly now. The numbers painted on it. 08R, 400 feet. Her descent rate is good. 700 feet per minute. Not too fast. You got this, Major Chen says. 200 feet. Ava pulls the throttles to idle. The engines go quiet. 100 feet. Start your flare. Pull back gently on the yoke. She pulls. The nose comes up. The aircraft is floating above the runway. 50 feet. Keep pulling, gently. 30 feet. 20 feet. 10 feet. The main landing gear touches down. Thump. Hard. Not graceful. The aircraft bounces. Slightly. But down. The nose gear comes down. Thump. They're on the ground. Speed brakes, Major Chen shouts. Ava finds the lever, pulls it. Panels deploy on the wings, the aircraft shudders. Reverse thrust, pull the throttles all the way back. Past idle, Ava pulls, the engines roar. The aircraft decelerates hard. She's thrown forward against her seatbelt. 100 knots, 80, 81, 82, 83. The aircraft comes to a stop. They're stopped, on the ground. Safe. 89 people alive. Ava sits in the captain's seat, hands still gripping the yoke, and starts sobbing. When Ava finally steps off that aircraft, it's chaos. There are dozens of people, maybe 100, all wanting something from her. FBI agents. They need to debrief her about the hijacking. The suspects are in custody. They need her statement. CIA officers, they're furious. She blew her cover. 3 years of work, gone, because she said her name on an open radio frequency that every intelligence agency in the Pacific could hear. Air Force personnel. They want to know everything. How she flew the plane. What she did. What she saw. Media. They're being held back by security, but cameras are everywhere. News helicopters overhead. She's going to be famous. Her face is going to be everywhere. State Department officials. They're freaking out about diplomatic implications. There were Congress people on that plane. Foreign policy people. This is an international incident. Passengers, trying to thank her. Crying, hugging her. A woman who Ava doesn't know kisses her on the cheek. A man in a suit shakes her hand and won't let go. It's overwhelming. Ava is exhausted, hasn't slept in 24 hours, hasn't eaten since yesterday. Her hands won't stop shaking. She thinks she might be in shock. A paramedic tries to check her vital signs, blood pressure, heart rate, making sure she's okay. She's not okay. But she's alive, and so are 88 other people. That's what matters. Then Major Lisa Chen appears, out of her flight suit now, regular Air Force uniform, name tag, ribbons, major's rank. She's got this knowing smile, walks right through the crowd like she owns the place. Nobody stops her, stops in front of Ava. Hell of a landing, she says. I bounced it. Every first landing in a new aircraft includes a bounce. You did fine. About that job offer, Ava stares at her. Cannot believe this. You're seriously recruiting me right now? After all this? You just flew a 747 with 0 heavy aircraft training, after taking down 2 hijackers by yourself, while maintaining your cover identity until the absolute last possible second. Ava, you're exactly who we need. I broke every protocol the agency has. I blew my cover. I probably just ended my career. They're going to fire me. The agency is going to realize they had a pilot and didn't know it. And we're going to make sure you don't waste that talent working a desk job. Ava wants to argue, but she's too tired. Can we talk about this later? I'll give you 48 hours to decompress, deal with the debriefs, process everything. Then you and I are having a serious conversation about your future. Major Chen hands her a business card. Same one she gave Ava 2 years ago. The offer still stands. Call me when you're ready, Major Chen says. Then she's gone. And Ava is left standing there, holding a business card, wondering if her life just completely changed. Spoiler, it did. The debriefs are brutal. FBI wants every detail. Ava tells them everything. The hijackers were sleeper agents. Lived in America for years. Had real pilot licenses. The real Captain Torres and First Officer Chen found dead in a hotel, killed before the flight. CIA debrief is worse. Sarah sits across from her. Your cover is burned. Every intelligence agency heard your name. You can't go back to translation work. I know. So what do you want to do? Ava thinks about her dad. About that Cessna. About control. I want to fly, she says. Sarah nods. You saved 89 lives. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about that. 3 days later, Ava calls Major Lisa Chen. I'm in, she says. Just like that? Just like that. You don't even know what the program is. I know it involves flying and intelligence work. That's enough. She can hear Major Chen smiling over the phone. When can you start? Give me 2 weeks. I need to go home. Tell my parents. Sort out my apartment. End my relationship. Pack. 2 weeks. Then you report to Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada. We'll take it from there. Ava hangs up. Feels weird. Good weird. Like she's finally doing what she's supposed to be doing. Ava flies home to Virginia. Her parents picked her up from the airport. Her mom cried. Her dad didn't say anything. Just hugged her. Now they're sitting in the living room. Her dad looks older, grayer, tired. But his eyes are bright. I saw the news, he says in Vietnamese. You saved all those people. I used what you taught me, Ba. I know. They sit in silence for a moment. Then Ava says, Ba, I need to tell you something. What? I'm leaving the CIA. I'm joining a program with the Air Force. It's classified, I can't tell you details. But I'm going to fly again, operationally. Her father's eyes widen. You're going to be a pilot? A real pilot? Sort of. It's complicated, but yes, I'm going to fly. Her father stands up, walks to the window, stares out at the sky. Ava can see his shoulders shaking. He's crying. Bah. He turns around, tears streaming down his face. You were never helpless, he says. I taught you to fly so you'd have control, so you'd never feel the way I felt when Saigon fell, and you used it to save lives. That's everything I wanted. He hugs her, doesn't let go for a long time. 6 months later. Ava doesn't go back to the CIA. Not officially. She transfers to a program that doesn't have a name, doesn't officially exist. It's run jointly by CIA and Air Force. The program combines linguistic intelligence with tactical aviation. They fly reconnaissance missions, intercept communications, use aircraft she can't talk about. She's not a fighter pilot. She's something else entirely. An intelligence officer who flies. The training is brutal. 6 months compressed into pure intensity. Flight training, combat training, survival training, advanced linguistics, cryptography, all of it happening simultaneously. She learns to fly jets, T-38 trainers, then bigger aircraft, multi-engine, heavy, all of it. She gets her instrument rating, commercial license, multi-engine rating, and finally, her type rating in the aircraft she'll actually fly operationally. Which aircraft? That's classified. But it's fast. Her call sign, chosen by her squadron, Phoenix. Because she rose from the ashes of her old identity. Because she was reborn. Because when her dad heard she was flying again, he cried. Ava's first operational mission is over the Korean peninsula. She's in the back of a reconnaissance aircraft. Modified. Classified. Flying along the DMZ. Her job, monitor North Korean military communications. Real-time analysis. 3 hours into the mission, she hears something. A pattern. Familiar encryption. Same system she broke 2 years ago. But modified. Evolved. She works on it. Uses everything she knows. Languages. Mathematics. Pattern recognition. Breaks it. Discovers North Korea is moving missile systems. Positioning them for a test. Possibly targeting Japan. Her intelligence prevents a major international incident. The mission is classified. She can't tell anyone. Not her parents, not her friends, not the guy she used to date. They broke up. He never understood why she was always gone. But she knows, and that's enough. When Ava gets leave, she goes home. Her dad is waiting. They drive to Warrenton Fauquier, same airfield where she learned to fly. Rent a Cessna 172, same type they flew 20 years ago. Go up together, father and daughter. For an hour, Ava isn't an intelligence officer, isn't a pilot in a classified program, isn't Phoenix. She's just her dad's daughter. Flying over Virginia, farmland. They don't talk much. Don't need to. Her dad lets her fly. Watches her, smiles. When they land, he turns to her. You understand now, he says in Vietnamese, what I tried to teach you. Yeah, ba, I understand. Flying isn't about freedom. I know. It's about choosing not to be helpless. Even when everything is falling apart. Especially then. Ava nods. They sit in the Cessna for a while, not saying anything, just being father and daughter. Pilots, both of them. Ava is in a briefing room. Location classified. She's been flying operational missions for 8 months. Getting better, more confident. Major Chen walks in. Except she's not a major anymore. She's a lieutenant colonel now. Promoted. Ava, got a new assignment for you. What kind? Can't tell you details here, but it involves your language skills. You're flying. And it's high risk. I'm in. You don't even know what it is. Doesn't matter. Colonel Chen smiles. You've changed. How? When I first tried to recruit you, you were hesitant, scared. Now you're jumping at the dangerous stuff. Ava thinks about that. I'm not scared anymore. My dad taught me that being in control means making choices, even scary ones, especially scary ones. He sounds like a smart man. He is. Colonel Chen hands her a folder. Top secret. Classified above her current clearance. Read this. You have 24 hours to decide. But I already know what you're going to say. Ava takes the folder, opens it, reads the first page, and smiles. Here's the thing about Ava Nguyen. She wasn't supposed to be in that cockpit. She was supposed to be invisible, a translator, a CIA analyst who sat in cubicles and listened to audio files. But she became the person who saved 89 lives. Who flew a hijacked 747 with zero training on that aircraft. Who proved that her father was right all along. You're never helpless if you choose not to be. The program she's part of now is classified. Most people don't know it exists. But the people who do, the people who matter, they know her call sign, Phoenix. When they need someone who can think in 3 languages while flying at Mach 2, they call Phoenix. When they need someone who can decode enemy communications in real time during a tactical mission, they call Phoenix. When they need someone who understands that control isn't about power, it's about choice, they call Phoenix, and she answers every time. Because once you understand control, real control, you can't unknow it. You can't go back to being helpless. You can only move forward, making choices, living or dying by them, just like her father taught her, in a Cessna 172, over Virginia farmland, when she was 13 years old and had no idea she was learning to save 89 lives.